So don't look at this because some people tell us that the Old Testament or the law don't count anymore. Right here, the word is mean present tense. Anaya, can you give us also the word of, O-F? I'm looking too, Brother Anaya.
Okay. Give me a second. Headed to the Merriam-Webster. Oh. Used as a function word to indicate origin or derivation.
Mm-hmm.
On the part of, by, occurring in. Used as a function word to indicate cause, motive, or reason. The word of is a preposition used to indicate various relationships between words such as possession, origin, or association.
Now, when we look up these words, always keep in mind that you need to use more than one dictionary because they hide definitions in multiple dictionaries. So you want to exhaust all of them so that you can really understand studying.
I have a little bit more.
Go ahead.
Of indicates possession, as in belonging to or connection.
Mm-hmm.
Of denotes to be used as cause, as an origin or source of something.
Okay, you say a origin or a source?
Yes.
Okay. So when it says the law of the Lord, it's letting us know of mean it's coming from Yahweh. So by us defining these words, it's telling us that the law of the Lord Yahweh is present tense. So we're to observe this right now, not in the past tense. And then we have of the Lord, that this law comes directly from Yahweh himself. And then it also tells us if we want to be perfect, then we have to keep the law also. And it says that the law of the Lord Yahweh is perfect, that it will convert your soul, it will change your mind. The testimony of the Lord Yahweh is sure, making wise the simple. So the law converting us, Yahweh is the testimony, and he letting us know how he resurrect himself. How did he resurrect himself? Keeping the law. And it converted his soul. Then he testified to us because he was a witness. He is a witness that the law will change your mind. It will change your mind when you implement it in your everyday life. It will change your mind to the point that you can fulfill Psalms 82:6, where it says that we are God's, we are children of the Most High. And the word convert again means to turn from this wicked system and its ungodly attributes. So as you study this scripture, this is Yahweh ben Yahweh giving us instructions on what to do, how to achieve our godhood, how to achieve us being his children again. When he tells us to return unto him, how do we return unto him? By keeping his law. Anything you want to add to that, Brother Naya?
No, sir.
Okay. Praise Yahweh. Then we're going to go to Joshua 1 and 8, because the law of the Lord Yahweh is perfect. We want to remember, see, they tell us nobody could be perfect. Wait just a minute. Matthew 5:48. Because this ungodly, now you can see how it's ungodly, because it teaches us that the law don't count. Here, Yahweh is telling us what to do with the law, to implement it in our everyday lives. Matthew 5:48 says, be ye therefore perfect. What is perfect? What is perfection? Keeping the law. If you look up the word imperfect in a thesaurus, it will say things like inferior, unschooled, unlearned. It will say words like inferior, second class, third class. So when you say nobody could be perfect, you're telling the world that you're inferior, that you're second and third class, that you're unschooled, that you're untaught. But Matthew 5:48 tells us, be ye even perfect as your Father, Yahweh ben Yahweh, which is in heaven. So we want to make it clear what is perfection is keeping the law. And Psalms 19:7 say is means present right now. This is not talking about the past. This is talking about right now. And the word of mean coming from, originating from Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. Now we'll go to Joshua, Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8. Joshua 1 and 8. Come on, Joshua. Joshua 1 and 8. And Joshua 1 and 8 says, this book of the law, remember now the law is perfect, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. When you keep the law, you'll make yourself prosperous. You'll make yourself have good success. No wonder we as a people, no wonder the world is in the condition that it is in, because it's not keeping the law. Psalms chapter 1. Psalms chapter 1. Psalms chapter 1, starting at chapter 1, verse 1 and 5. Psalms chapter 1, verse 1 through 5. And the first word is say, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. Remember, the word convert means to turn away from this ungodly society. It said, you'll walk not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of scornful. Verse 2 say, but his delight, That's us. But his delight is in the law of the Lord Yahweh. Remember the word of, coming from, originating from Yahweh. So his delight is in the law of the Lord Yahweh, and in his law does he meditate day and night. Verse 3, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth, listen to that, whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Not might, shall prosper. Verse 4, the ungodly are not so. See, they're prospering temporarily. It's coming to an end. When you look around the world today, you can see that those in power, those have been prospering in the past, is coming to an end. 4, the ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Yes, the ungodly gonna be driven away. Therefore, the ungodly shall not stand in judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. The sinners are not going to be among the righteous. The ungodly, praise Yahweh. Then we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Are we connected to YouTube?
Yes, we are connected to YouTube and Facebook.
Good. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Is anybody on the YouTube? Somebody did.
We had a few people on Facebook. Let me take a look at the YouTube.
And they're waiting on YouTube is what they're saying. Let me see if I can send them something else right quick. Pardon me, everybody.
We are live on YouTube.
Okay. All righty. Now, Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Remember, this is stemming from Psalms 19:7, talking about the law. And this society tell us not to keep the law, tell us that the law doesn't count anymore. We're reading that the law make you prosperous, make you have good success, make you have blessings. Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14 says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God Yahweh, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. This day means simply that, right now. And the Lord thy God Yahweh will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all, not some, all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God Yahweh. Hearken how? Keeping his laws. Verse 3, blessed shall thou be in the city, and blessed shall thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, and the increase and the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. You keep hearing this word blessing. Verse 5. Blessed shall thou be in thy basket and in thy store. So we're going to have stores when we keep Yahweh's laws. Blessed shall thou be when thou cometh in. Blessed shall thou be when thou goeth out. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Verse 7. The Lord Yahweh shall cause thine enemy. Listen who calls your enemy now. The Lord Yahweh shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. The Lord Yahweh shall command the blessings upon thee in thy storehouses. So we're going to have stores and we're going to have storehouses. Another word for storehouses is what? Can you think of another word for storehouses? Another word is warehouses. You're going to have warehouses to supply your stores. And in all that thou settest thine hand unto, and shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God Yahweh giveth thee. Verse 9. The Lord Yahweh shall establish thee to be a holy people unto himself. How many people is ready for that? As he have sworn unto thee, if thou do what? Keep the commandments of the Lord thy God Yahweh and walk in his ways. Matthew 5:48. Be ye perfect, even as your Father. We're going to walk in his ways. And all the people of the earth shall see what? That we are keeping Yahweh's laws, and thou art called by the name of the Lord Yahweh, and they shall be afraid of thee. 11. And the Lord Yahweh shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which the Lord Yahweh thy Father giveth thee. The Lord Yahweh shall open unto thee. Can you believe this? He shall open unto thee his good treasures, not just his treasures, but his good treasures, and the heaven, and give thee rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all, not some, bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend to many nations, not borrow, lend to many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And the Lord Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God Yahweh, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them. 14. And thou shalt not go aside from any of these words, which I command thee this day, to the right hand, to the left, to go after other gods and serve them. Shouldn't do that. Now, all these blessings from Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 through 14, talks all about blessings, talk about health, talking about all aspects of our life, talking about being successful in all kinds of businesses, blessing us with his good treasure. But 15 says, but all these blessings he's going to give us. Then he said, but if thou shall, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, Yahweh, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now, you can read all of 28 because Yahweh is very clear here. When we keep his laws, blessings after blessings, and when you read 15 through 68, he got some serious curses. You'll understand what's wrong with the world today and our people. Let's go to Deuteronomy 16:16. Let's talk a little bit about a law that's coming up. Deuteronomy 16 and 16. What do we have here? Okay. We're going to start at 16. I said 16. We're going to start at 16 and 13. 16 and 13. Let us read. Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days. After that, thou shalt gather in thy corn and thy wine. 14. And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy son, and thy daughter, and thy maidservant, and thy manservant, and the Levites, the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are within thy gates. 15 says, 7 days thou shalt keep a solemn feast unto the Lord thy God, Yahweh, in the place which he shall choose, because the Lord thy God, Yahweh, shall bless thee in all thy increase and in all thy works of thine hand. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice. 3 times in a year shall all males appear before the Lord thy God, Yahweh, in the place where he shall choose, the feast of unleavened bread, and the feast of weeks, and the feast of tabernacles. And they shall not appear before the Lord Yahweh empty. Every man, not some, shall give as he is able, according to the blessings of the Lord thy God Yahweh, which he giveth thee. So this is a commandment to observe the Feast of Tabernacles. Remember now what happens when we don't keep the law. Go to Leviticus chapter 23, Leviticus chapter 23. 23 and 33. Leviticus chapter 23 and 33. And it says, and the Lord Yahweh spoke unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of the 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord Yahweh. And on the first day shall be a holy convocation. Ye shall do no severe work therein. 36, 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire, and on the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord Yahweh, and it is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no severe work. So when keeping the Feast of Tabernacles, Yahweh says that we are to assemble. If we believe in Yahweh, We are to assemble. Anaya, can you look up the word convocation? Convocation.
Convocation.
And I'm going to do it. See, the convocation. Give me just a minute.
Convocation is a noun that refers to an assembly of people.
So the Feast of Tabernacles is the assembly of people. That's what the Feast of Tabernacles is. It's an assembly of people. You have some more, sir?
Yes. Convocation is a noun that refers to an assembly of people called together for a formal meeting. This term is often used in religious, academic, and ecclesiastic contexts. The word convocation originates from the Latin word convociato, which means a calling together.
Whoa. So the Feast of Tabernacles, it has several definitions, but it's about the calling together of the good people on the planet Earth. The good people, not everybody, the good people. You have some more, sir?
Yes, I have a little bit more. So just to give it the Hebrew side of the Hebrew word for convocation is mikra. The term is primarily signifies, like we said, a calling together, an assembly. It also can refer to assembly to observe the reading, particularly the sacred text. Also means to call out and to proclaim.
Is that it?
That's it.
You got your concordance by you? Can you look up all nations should keep the Feast of Tabernacles? Uh, Zechariah.
You want the scripture for it?
Yes, sir. Zechariah 14:16.
16 through 19, yes.
Zechariah.
Zechariah.
What was that again, sir?
Zechariah 14 and 16.
Okay, Zechariah 14 and 16.
It'll be 16 through 19.
Okay. All right, let us read. That's Zechariah chapter 14, verse 16 through 19. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And it shall be that whosoever will not come up of all the families of the earth to Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord Yahweh of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the families of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherein the Lord Yahweh will smite the heathen that came not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. How you like that? Praise Yahweh. Now, if Yahweh is saying all nations shall come up to keep the feast, all nations now, how in the world we as his children not gonna keep it the way he said keep it? Think about that. If he say all nations shall come to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, and we as the representatives of Yahweh ben Yahweh, how do we expect the world to do it? We have to set it up so that they can come. Yahweh ben Yahweh says 7 days, and on the 8th day is a holy convocation. And the first day, matter of fact, all the days is an assemblance, is a coming together. How can you come together by yourself at home? Praise Yahweh. We're talking about Psalms 19, verse 7. Psalms chapter 19, verse 7. Now, we was reading Zechariah chapter 14, 16. And he said, all the nations that are left, you may wonder, well, what's going to happen to them? Go up to verse 12. Zechariah 14, 12. And this shall be the plague wherein the Lord Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Now, what's going to happen with somebody's flesh is going to leave their bones. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and the eyes shall consume away out of their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. We're talking about all kinds of nuclear war. When you look at the Middle East, everybody there now, everybody from around the world have ships there. Russia has ships. China has ships. These ships all are nuclear capability. America has their top ships there, 2 of their best warships. These are not for peace. These to create war and destruction. So Yahweh ben Yahweh saying the nations that are left shall come up. Praise Yahweh. We need to be preparing Yahweh's children coming together so that we can exhibit Yahweh's attributes to the world. Praise Yahweh. Well, now, any questions? Any to add?
Sounds straightforward to me.
Sounds straightforward. Is it really straightforward?
What I find interesting was at the beginning of that, it said that all nations.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't even have an excuse if if you consider yourself not a child.
Right. Now, let me make this really, really clear. Also, Yahweh has built in a guaranteed economic success. Because when all nations come, we have to prepare food for them. We have to prepare housing for them. Some will travel by ships, bus, planes. We have to have all of that. If ever it was a time for us to come together, the time is now. Go to Romans 8. Romans chapter 8. Romans chapter 8. And 8 and 19. Romans chapter 8 and 19. And it says, for the honest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of Yahweh. The world is waiting on the sons of Yahweh to be manifested. Now, I'm not just going to let that go. See, really, when you look up sons, S-O-N, in the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance, it means several things. It means men and women. See, Yahweh has a male and a female, a male son and a female daughter that's created in his image. And the world is waiting on us to be manifested. See, Psalms 19:7 tells us that the law of the Lord Yahweh is perfect. The testimony of the Lord Yahweh is sure. See, that's telling us somebody go to Psalm Deuteronomy chapter 18. That the law converts your soul, that the testimony, see, to be a testimony, you got to be a witness. You got to experience the same things that we experience. See, some people told us that he's coming back in the cloud, but you never looked up clouds. Right here, it says, go to Deuteronomy chapter 18:15, and it says, the Lord Yahweh, the Lord thy God Yahweh, will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren like unto me, unto him ye shall hearken. Now you got to do some research for yourself now, because here it's talking about the Messiah. It's talking about the deliverer, and he's gonna do what Moses did. See, Moses delivered us physically. We never was really ever delivered. We just left physical Egypt. We got out in the wilderness and raised all kind of hell. Now, 18 says, I will raise them up a prophet from among thy brethren. See, he was doing the same things. He was exposed to the same things that we was exposed to. Like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command. 19, and it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, Yahweh, I will require it of him. See, when this person come back on the scene, he is required to teach us our Father's name, Yahweh. He's required. and he's going to be raised up from among us. He wasn't outside of us. He had to come right here in America and be raised up, and then teach us Psalms 19:7, how he is a testimony that the law will change your mind, convert your soul. Convert means change or turn from this ungodly world, to turn from this ungodly system. Those that want to hold on the system, that's fine. Remind me in the days of Noah. They wanted to do everything, have a good time in this system until they entered the ark. And Yahweh commanded him not to open the door. Praise Yahweh. Well, Yahweh, Brother Anaya, it is getting close to that time again. Any comments on what we've covered so far?
Sir, like I said, seeing it extremely straightforward. It all boils down to that if you consider yourself a moral person, if you consider yourself a child of Yahweh, if you consider yourself different from the people that decided to step away from the law when they left Egypt, then you should come down to feast. You should be here with us, celebrating morality.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, now, Anaya, tell them about our website, how they can stay in contact with us and how they can invite other people.
Okay, so you can find us on Facebook at YBYA, and that's the Yahweh Ben Yahweh Alliance. You can find us on our website at ybyalliance.com. If you're having trouble finding that, you can also just go to Google and type in Yahweh Ben Yahweh Alliance, and we will pop up there for you also. We keep up to date with the events on the website. We also have where you can sign up to come to the Feast of Tabernacles. We have different packages. We have a daily package. We have a weekly package. If you need help finding a place to stay, feel free to contact us on the website. We can help you with that also. Remember, that's ybyalliance.com. And we also have a YouTube. Our YouTube is growing. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. There will be more content for you.
Thank you, Brother Anaya. Well, at this time, we're going to face the east and say a prayer in Hebrew to our Father. This prayer is the Lord's Prayer, the Lord Yahweh's prayer in Hebrew, our original language. Let us face the east. Tefillah. Avenu Shabbat Shemai. Dikadesh Amerika. Tavo Makuteaka. Yase Rizonka. Ivashemayim Kain Bares. Et Lekman Kukenu. Tain La Nu Hayom. Uslak La Nu. All Kate Nu. Timosha Soul King. Kamanak Nu. La Kote La Nu. They all Tepienu. Dode Nisayam. King Kasenu. Min Hara. Hilakah. Hamomlaha. They are Giverah. They are Teperet. They over me, Selah. We thank thee, Yahweh, O living and eternal King, who has so mercifully restored our souls within. Praise Yahweh. Always remember that Yahweh loves you. Yahweh Ben Yahweh loves you. And we, the nation of Yahweh, love you and welcome you home to your nation, the nation of God. We just know his name is Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. Shalom.